Former NFL quarterback Mark Sanchez was involved in a bizarre incident that happened over the weekend. He was supposedly doing wind sprints at night and got into a tiff with a driver, a guy who picks up cooking oil, like an Uber driver, some driver who picks up cooking oil. They got in a fight, and the next thing you know, Mark Sanchez is getting stabbed. First, he got pepper sprayed, and since the driver is, I believe, 69 years old, he's now in the hospital, and it was Mark Sanchez who's been charged with a serious felony. In fact, we got clip 2. Let's play clip 2, where the prosecutor is talking about the upgrading of the charges against Sanchez as a felony.
Certainly the thing that stands out to us is this was a situation that did not need to occur. We are literally talking about people fighting over a parking space. We have added more serious charges against Mr. Sanchez. At this point in time, we have filed a felony charge, a level 5 felony of battery involving serious bodily injury, which contains a penalty of 1 to 6 years.
Yeah, can we also show video 1? There's no sound to that. I want the viewers to see what Sanchez looks like here. Yeah. See, so he's out there. Doesn't look like he's doing wind sprints. Maybe this was after the incident, but this was after he got stabbed. Yeah, all right. My gosh. Now, by all accounts, Sanchez is supposed to be a nice guy. He wasn't a very good pro quarterback, but he's doing...
It's all right.
It was okay.
I mean, he's all kidding aside, he was okay enough that we know his name. Like, there were a lot of pro quarterbacks who were so bad, like, they come and they go. But look, I'm a Giants fan who always roots for the Jets, and yes, it was definitely. But he had a couple of good seasons. But this is what I'm going to tell the two of you guys, just because I probably have a little bit more experience with this than you do. Sitting with a guy, and I'm not saying this is Mr. Sanchez specifically, however, I think it's pretty clear that alcohol was involved.
Just alcohol?
At least alcohol. Let's just say that. But I'll just limit it to alcohol. I cannot count how many times, and I'm being very sincere, I have sat, especially in arraignments, like right after an arrest, right? So someone is maybe 12 hours to 24 hours after the exact incident, and the client on the other side of the bar is waiting to meet the judge to determine what charges he or she is going to be faced with. And I say he or she, and then determine if they're coming home on bail or they're going to be remanded. Have said, alcohol. I'll never forget one of the cases that stayed with me forever, because he was a young man. He was like 18, and he beat someone up, and there was a crime aspect involved. And when he got sentenced to like 12 years, which was rough, and he goes, Mr. Aidala, he goes, alcohol is the worst drug. I've done all the drugs, but in terms of like getting into trouble, alcohol is the worst drug. And I have to be honest with you guys. I mean, I know weed is legal now, but when it was not legal, I never had a client who came in and said, I smoked a joint and I beat someone up. I smoked some weed and I stole a car. It's because most of the bad drugs are like downers. I mean, even like not heroin and oxy, they usually just put you in like a down, like, you want to just sit in a room and listen to Pink Floyd or something. The thing about the booze is you get, beer muscles and beer goggles. And I don't think it's a stretch for us to assume, considering where this took place, right outside a bar, that Mr. Mark Sanchez maybe had a couple of drinks in him.
Well, it's never a good look when people are wondering if you're on bath salts. I mean, that's the kind of weird behavior he was engaged in. With a guy first, he sprayed him with pepper spray. This old man, I shouldn't say old man, because
take it easy.
69's not that old. But this working man who's there picking up cooking oil, I guess leftover oil, he takes it back and he has to spray Sanchez, who gets in his face. And then that doesn't stop this guy from keep coming after him, and then finally has to stab him. And both of them look really bad afterwards. And it's Sanchez now who's been upgraded to a felony, part because of the age of the victim. But after all these people came out with these thoughts and prayers for Mark Sanchez that he's one of the good guys and let's wish him well, it looks like he was the aggressor. Matt Murphy, what would you do as a prosecutor in a case like this?
Well, as a prosecutor, this guy, the victim, apparently has one of the stabbings went all the way through his cheek and cut his tongue. So that's what we call GBI, or great bodily injuries. So you gotta, I mean, that's felony conduct for sure.
Now he got
But then I
stabbed
think you
too.
gotta, yeah, the victim was stabbed as well in the melee, and unclear how that happened. Whether Mark Sanchez took the knife away, which I kind of doubt, or if it just happened during the struggle. It is I mean, look, just in the video that we saw there, NFL quarterback, when we watch the games, you see the quarterback is often the smallest guy. Those are still huge guys. He was, his playing weight, Mark Sanchez, was 6'2", 225. That is a
like
big
you,
man.
right, Matt?
And
Matt, like
yeah,
you, right?
well, it's kind of embarrassing, Arthur. I am 6'2", and I had to think, I had to do the math, which I'm always bad at, but I'm like, that's almost 50 pounds more than me on a post surf trip skinny day. So that's a big guy, professional athlete,
And he's in great shape.
but
I mean, he's 38. He's in great
he's in
shape.
great shape, right? And look, Arthur is right on this. There's a Dave Chappelle skit with Rick James where he
Rick
talks
James.
about cocaine. Cocaine's a hell of a drug. Alcohol is a hell of a drug, and I've seen that too. We all have, Dave, right? You see the guy who's good and living a good life and doing everything right, and they get hammered, and all of a sudden they have that one bad night, and sometimes that's in the form of a drunken car accident where people die. Sometimes it's a stupid bar fight, just a totally out of character thing that unfortunately can completely change lives. What I was surprised by, and I know both you guys were too, how fast was this civil suit filed, guys? This was on Saturday night. The civil suit has already been launched along with allegations. I wanted to throw that to you, Arthur. I mean, I know you've been involved in some PI stuff, as I have, sort of on the side outside of the criminal thing, but man, that is awfully quick to pull the trigger.
Well,
don't you
I will
think?
tell you, when a case like this happens, and it happens whether it's a criminal case or a civil case, the term one of my office mates uses, like, the sharks are in the water. And the sharks being other lawyers. Other lawyers. I mean, my first huge case was when I represented NFL great Lawrence Taylor, and I did his arraignment. And when I saw him, Lawrence, the end of the next day, after he played 42 holes of golf all day long, we had a great meeting over a cigar and a bottle of Chivas Regal. And I said, Lawrence, I only know how to do these cases one way. I go, I got to be all in. He goes, sure, all in. He goes, what do you mean? I go, Lawrence, let me ask something. How many people called you today when you were on the golf course to represent you or whatever? He goes, oh, I think I turned my phone off after the 8th call. He goes, I saw you in court yesterday. You could never be as bad as everyone told me you were. So those are my colleagues, my friends, right? Trying to steal the case away. The same is even worse in civil cases, because that's all about the almighty dollar. And Mark Sanchez has money, but we presume. I mean, besides the NFL, he's had this great, NFL contract with Fox Sports. So as the lawyer, you don't want another lawyer stealing the case. So hey, why not put my name on it, put it into suit right away, and it makes it much more difficult for another lawyer from Morgan and Morgan or one of those big guys who advertise and be like, hey, I'm the best guy, let me file the suit for you. So I am not shocked that they did so quickly whatsoever. What I was shocked about, and when the first person sent me the picture of the grease truck driver here, I sent back, I go, that can't be real. That's got to be AI messing with us. And now that I see it's real, I mean, those are some legitimate injuries. And, Mark Sanchez has got a little bit of a hill to climb to get out of this problem.